Thanksgiving, everybody. Oh, wrong holiday. It's my new mode. So happy Thanksgiving. What we're going to do today is we're going to teach you how to get your turkey set up so that you can cook it in less than 2 hours. We originally had a video, this is 2.5, and now we're shrinking it down to 2 hours. What we're going to do is a modified spatchcock recipe. So what we want to do is, the first thing is, when you buy your turkey, a lot of people buy frozen ones, buy it a week advance, if not sooner. Leave the turkey in the refrigerator. It's going to take a good week for it to thaw out. You should be looking at your turkey when you're getting ready for Thanksgiving on Tuesday. If your turkey is still frozen, so this is really still frozen, it's not right now, but if it is, what you're going to do is you want to get this stupid little piece of plastic out, or whatever they have in there. Get that thawed out first. And then you're going to want to run cold water in here. You want to do what we're doing now. So if you can get the bird open a little bit, it's going to make things a lot easier because it's going to thaw out faster. So now what we're going to do is we're going to spatchcock this bird. Now normally when you spatchcock something, you take out the backbone and you lay it out flat. With a turkey, it's a lot more meat to it. So we're going to cut the legs right here and here. So we're going to cut here. I'm going to cut here. And then I'm going to literally put one hand here, and break it. Oh, didn't cut it good enough. I'm going to break it right in half. Because we broke it right in half, I can now cut right here. Let me put it down, it's easier. Okay, so I'm going to put the breast away for 2 seconds. Now we're going to take care of the legs. So with the legs, what you want to do is put them on your board. You want to push it down, and you're going to break the leg, or break the joint open. Do the same with the other side. Now that I get the legs separated, I know the joint is right there where my finger is. I know that's where I need to cut. If I cut right there, not a lot of work. Right, that's going to go in this roasting pan with a little bit of carrot and onion. Sometimes people refer to that, something like that, as like a mirepoix. I don't use celery because I don't like it. So we're doing this in 2 roasting pans because I don't want one big roasting pan. So with this backbone right here, there's a little bit of meat on it, but not a lot. It's going to go right in my stock pot. Now that we get the legs done, I'm going to do the breasts. Get rid of the stupid thermometer because you definitely don't need it. Now I want to take this backbone out right here. So we're taking those bones out. The way that you do that is you go in here with the knife, hit the bottom of the board, and cut through. I have a hard time today. Of it. I popped it right there. The joints were giving me a hard time on the wings. I was able to cut. You can find the joints. Now I'm able to cut through those without a problem. Come on. There it is. Goes in the stock bag, stock pot. I'm going to take it one step further. Right here is a piece of cartilage. You're going to nick that cartilage, and the knife's going to stop because there's a keel bone there. You're going to take your hands and put it on either side. You want to open that up. Come on. This bird is not cooperating today. It actually works better when I do it frozen. There we go, finally popped. And the reason why we want to do that is when I go to debone this, or when I go to carve it, it's going to be a lot easier. That is a huge bone. I've never seen it that big. Running my thumb along that piece of cartilage, and get the other side. Actually, you gotta twist it right out. Wow. So if you've ever done chickens, or I've never seen a keel bone that big. Normally the cartilage, which is what I'm cutting out right now, is up to about here. The keel bone stops right about there. This is a huge one. I've never seen it that big. I'm gonna have to butcher it a little bit. If you got a keel bone this big, I recommend not doing this. But I'm committed, so I'm doing it.
So a couple of food safety tips about handling poultry. First of all, Phil has no gloves on because he's going to be constantly washing his hands, number one. Number two, the one thing you never do with a turkey or any poultry is wash it. If you want to kill the germs and the salmonella, cook it to 165. That's all you need to do.
That's the keel bone. Get it out of there.
Get all the stuff in there.
So what I want to do now is, there's only one person in the world that I know who likes turkey tips, and that's the person that's filming, which is my wife. But nobody eats them, so they're going in the stock pot. And this is good because if you want to make it, if you make a stock on Tuesday, that stock is going to be for our gravy and for our stuffing. All right. I'll wash my hands again.
So one of the reasons you don't want to wash a turkey is because when you are doing that, you're actually spreading the salmonella completely all over yourself and the kitchen because the water splatters everywhere and you just cannot possibly clean it all up. And there's one kind of food poisoning you don't want, and that's salmonella. It can kill you.
We're gonna put this in the roasting pan. Gonna get ready to put the bread in the oven. So I went out to the garden. I got some fresh sage and thyme. So I am going to make what they call a compound butter. I'm going to take the sage and thyme, chop it all up, and fold it in the butter, and then we're going to stick it underneath the breast, and maybe a little bit underneath the legs. It looks like plenty of sage. I know we have bad jokes right about now. It's like parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Thyme in a bottle.
Nobody gets that.
We're going to be running out of time.
It got bad. Ho, ho, ho. Come on, let's go.
The timing of my jokes is pretty bad?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take some of this. What I'm going to do is take the sage leaves. I'm going to bunch them all up. Roll it. And then cut what they call a chiffonade. And then go back and we're going to dice it. Put some of that in here. I'm going to save the rest of it for our stuffing. Time because I get the really thin stems. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, they're fresh from the garden. They're not the kind you get at the grocery store, which tend to be woody.
We just put that in the stock pot. Okay, put a little bit in here.
What is that first bowl?
So that's gonna be our compound butter.
Okay, and this is for the stuffing.
This is for the stuffing, yeah.
But it's not really stuffing. It's dressing.
It's dressing, but I'm gonna call it stuffing because nobody's gonna know that it was in the bird because it's gonna taste better than it was in the bird because I'm using turkey stock. Stock pot. Then we just mix it all together.
So another food safety tip, and I know everybody's done it, but once again, Martha Stewart poisoned herself a few Thanksgivings ago.
You gotta be careful when you say stuff like that.
Well, it's done now. By stuffing her turkey and got salmonella from doing so.
Now we're gonna take the butter, open up the breast.
You mean under the skin?
Yeah.
Could have gone in from the other way.
Yeah, I could have. And we're just gonna put some of that in there.
And what does this do?
It just keeps it nice and moist and gives it a nice lot of flavor. So we do this. We have a dish that I just did the other night called lemon chicken. We made butter with lemon and lemon juice and stuck it underneath here. And you'd be surprised the amount of flavor that that chicken has when we do that with the lemon chicken. I'll put a little bit on the, I'm just gonna put it on the drumsticks. I'll get it in there.
How big was this turkey?
This was a 13-pound turkey.
Okay, and what do we have our oven set at?
For the first 45 minutes to an hour, it's at 450.
Are we on convect or are we on bake?
Convection.
Okay,
Always do convection.
all right. And
The only
then,
time you don't, the only time you want to do non-convection is if you're making an angel food cake. And not many people are making angel food cakes nowadays. All right, so that's all the butter. So you always want to put it in the oven with a liquid. Facing the camera, so you always don't want to put it in a dry pan. You want to put it in with some sort of liquid. We're going to put it in with a little bit of white wine. Stock is better. Water you can do, but it's not a lot of flavor. But at least white wine has flavor. I have it on the carrots and celery because I'm going to use these also as a vegetable, and it'll also add flavor to making additional broth if we needed it for the gravy.
okay, so we're gonna cook this at 450 for how long?
For about an hour.
And then,
Lower it down to 350,
right?
and then cook it for
Another-
probably less than another hour.
Okay.
Because this is a small bird.
Yeah.
I bet you we can get this cooked. If I kept it at 450, I probably could get this bird cooked in an hour and a half.
And if we wanted to use a thermometer on the chicken, where would we use that?
So the first thing you for the drumsticks, you're gonna do it right here. When you put it in, you're gonna hit a bone, or you hit the bottom. And you want to back it up. The same thing with the turkey breasts. You want to go to the thickest spot, so that's right here. You're gonna hit the bone, and then you're gonna back it up a quarter of an inch.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to take the thermometer reading on the bone because the bone's going to be hotter.
And the thermometer should say?
165.
Very good. All right.
You could get away with 160 if you have a bigger bird and they have what they call the standing temperature. I'll cook another 5 degrees.
Carry over.
Carry temperature.
Yeah. All right. Say goodbye, Phil.
Bye.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.